Cool. Hey guys, I'm Barb and welcome to episode 9 of Creators Campfire. If you're new here, then this is a live stream podcast where I interview all sorts of creative people, so entrepreneurs, content creators, side hustlers, and general aspiring talent to find out more about what they do, why they do it, and how they do it. So for those joining us live, we'll be taking questions throughout. So if you do have anything you want to ask tonight's guest, then please drop it in the comments and we'll get to it as we go along. So tonight we have Chanelle Bradshaw joining us. She is a food and lifestyle blogger. And if you ask me, I think she's got a dream job. So guys, please welcome Chanelle. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
You all right?
I'm all right. How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
It's okay. It's my pleasure. I'm very excited about tonight. Okay. Do you want to start? Sorry?
Me too.
Yeah, excellent. Do you want to start off and give us a little bit of a background about what it is you do and how it all works?
Yeah, so what, like blogging wise?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I obviously left Avon a year ago now, which is really weird. It's gone so quick. And I keep calling it a career life crisis. I think I was having a career life crisis. And I was a bit bored and just decided to start a blog / Instagram. And so now I take pictures of food. I am one of those people that you see in the restaurants that are taking pictures of their food. And it kind of it's just gone from there, really. I try to do food. Like I do food and lifestyle, but I think it's quite weird. Like other people might feel the same when you're taking pictures of yourself. It's sometimes a little bit funny. So I kind of started with food because I felt a bit less silly, if that makes sense. So now I just take pictures of my food and write about it.
Which again does genuinely sound like a dream because that is amazing. So you obviously wanted to do not just food, but you started with food specifically. Was there any was there a much of a thought process behind that, or was it just I'm not quite ready to take pictures of myself, or was there something else behind it?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I started with food, and also because I was on leave at that point, I was going to a lot of places, and it was kind of I was discovering things, and then I realised that people didn't actually know about them. So it wasn't a plan at first. It was just a bit of I'm going to do this. And then very quickly, it was probably within the first 3 or 4 posts, I had people like, oh, I didn't know about that and I didn't know that existed. So then I started doing it to help kind of spread the word. And it became more of I want to let people know that this is there, and I want to let people know about this place. And it kind of, it went from there. So to answer your question, no, I didn't have a plan at first. It was a quick, let's just take pretty pictures of this. But then once I started getting interest and I could see that actually I was helping spread the word, then it kind of became about, let's try and find some new things and, just promote things that maybe people didn't necessarily know about. There's loads of food festivals that go on in Northampton. And before I started doing this, I didn't even know that. So it's like things like that. It was like, oh my gosh, I found this, and now I want other people to find it.
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't really know that food festivals were a thing either. And it's like,
No.
These things just happen.
Yeah, you kind of always hear about them elsewhere, or I always tend to go to London for them. And then I just started finding out that actually there was loads going on in Northampton. Obviously, they're a bit of a smaller scale, but we don't, they're in our hometown. So I kind of just wanted to go and eat food and then tell people about it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So in terms of your Instagram following then and doing that was just you starting on your personal account then? Was that how it started?
Not really, no. I always had my personal Instagram, which is kind of just, you out drunk and that sort of thing. And then I kind of thought, well, not everybody wants to see food on there. And then people who see food, like on my other one, I wouldn't really put stuff that I put on personal one. So I decided to keep them different. But I did try about probably 2 years ago now, I tried to do another Instagram, which was more like fitness. And it just kind of, I wouldn't say tanked, but I just didn't really know what I was doing with it. Whereas I think with food and spread local, there's a bit more to it. And it just kind of ended up falling in place. So yeah, so it started where, yeah, I just started a new one from scratch because I kind of thought then people can follow it who are interested in that sort of thing rather than just your friends, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And then in terms of building that following right from scratch, then if you're not starting with something already there, is it just a case of bringing over those people on your personal account and then starting it from there? Or was there another strategy in terms of building it at the beginning?
Yeah, a bit of both, really. I kind of just said to all my friends, get here, follow me, which was good. I didn't do it straight away because, again, it was a little bit like I didn't have that. Like, I think if you're overconfident and that's great, but sometimes if you're a little bit sheepish and like, oh, I'm doing this, so I didn't tell anyone straight away. I kind of let it grow a little bit, and then I think I put it on my personal page and said, "Come follow me," and then lots of people did, which was lovely. The first load was just like everyone from Avon. I was like coming over and following me, which was really nice. And then and then it just kind of went from there. Once you kind of discover new people and new hashtags and things like that, then it starts to grow. I think I'm quite like I aim mainly within Northamptonshire because obviously like it's food and stuff, but so that's predominantly where they're from. But then also you do get other people, which is nice. Yeah.
So in that case, if you haven't necessarily brought over those initial followers, how did you go about spreading the word in the scary world of Instagram? Because having been there and tried it, it's like, oh, well, how does this even work? So for someone maybe that is completely new to the platform, are there a couple of things that they could maybe do or some things they could try?
Yeah, it's you are right. It is like a bit of a minefield when you first go in. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah. There's so many different things like exploring hashtags, being active on it. So when I first did it, I was on it all the time, which probably isn't that healthy. But I was like, you kind of have to engage with people. So I was spending time like liking photos and commenting and finding people as well. You do have to put time into it. I mean, some people might not, and they're probably, gosh, my hair looks funny, really lucky. But I found that I do kind of, the more I engaged, the more I found people and people found me as well. And it is sort of, people are so friendly. So I had a few people who shout me out. Lauren, who has her vegan page, she did, and other people that I'd met along the way. And then obviously their followers see you. And if you find people that are similar, then you'll find that they will come over to you as well. So it's kind of just, yeah, it does take time, lots of commenting and stuff. But like in a fun way.
Yes. No, that's bad. Yeah, it is a bit scary, I guess, for somebody starting out. But once you get into it, you kind of understand how it works.
Exactly. And you'll probably find as well that there's like, when I started this, I had no idea that there was other, well, obviously you hear of food bloggers, but there's actually quite a lot in Northampton and I didn't know. So it's just finding them. So like if you're doing a certain niche, search for hashtags within that niche and then just like comment on the stuff, like, you know, make friends, message them like, hi, I really like your page. People always love hearing that. So just stuff like that to kind of, then you can just chat to people that are in the same sort of circle as you and will understand what you mean and what you're going through and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Do you think it helped that you were focusing more on local kind of food and things rather than necessarily going widespread and trying to conquer the whole of the UK or something?
I think so, yeah, definitely at first and even now, because really like you can go on holiday and stuff, but really where you are, that's where you spend most of your time, most people anyway. So yeah, I do think so, because I think I was probably caring about it more because it was local. So you know, if I went to a restaurant that I really enjoyed and because it's in my hometown, then I want to do it justice, I want to spread the word about it. So yeah, I think that did help at the beginning. I think it still does now. Like recently I stumbled across a poppy field and it just blew up and I had so many messages being like, where's this, and it was all people within Northampton. So yeah, I think that did help. Obviously it's different because if you're doing like I'm not great at cooking, so that's why I go out to eat a lot. So I think if you're doing stuff like home cooking, you don't always need to focus local, because you can do, but obviously it depends what you're cooking and where you get it from. But when you go out to dinner, when you go out to places, when you go and visit new events, they tend to be where you are. So I think it depends on the niche, but for mine personally, it worked being local.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. In terms of actually making the posts and reaching out to people, was it just a case at the beginning of like tagging people when you're posting your food, when you're out to dinner, and then things grow over time and you might then start creating relationships with different food places? Or are you trying to kind of do it the other way around and say, hey, I'll shout you out?
A bit of both, really. I think I learned very quickly that stories can play quite a big part, which you don't always think about at the beginning. You kind of think, oh, grid post, just posting a picture. And then actually, like, stories can spread so far. And now obviously you can search for stories on hashtag and they show up on the discovery thing. So I think even like just doing a couple of stories of a place where you are, that person then reshares it and then people just see it wider. So even it's sort of like not just thinking about pictures anymore. It's like, oh, what should I do with my story? So I think tagging and try and tag people as much as you can. And location, for me personally, location helps me, on the stories where you can tag your location. I always get people viewing stories from there.
Ah, that's a good tip.
Yeah, and you can put hashtags in your story as well. If you don't always want people to see them, someone taught me just make them the same colour as your background.
Or hide them behind a picture if you've got a picture.
Or hide behind a picture, yeah. So little tips like that, there's little things that you can do.
So what do you think differentiates a story from a post? Is it that people are more likely to go through people's stories, or they're more searchable and findable, if that's a word? Or is it just different type of content? And how do you differentiate, I guess, between a post and a story?
Yeah, I personally would say different kind of content, because on my grid now, I tend to do it sometimes some more where I want to kind of tell a story behind it. Like yesterday I posted because I'd been on there a year, which was mad. So that sort of thing, I think, I'd want to do a grid post for it. Whereas I went to the pub yesterday lunchtime, so I put that on as a story. So, and sometimes if you're out and about as well, like sometimes we go to, say if we were at one of the food festivals, because it's on that day and we want to share people and let people know it's on there and then, we'll just do stories as we're going around because then people can see it. Whereas sometimes you can just, especially if it's on all day, if you put something on in the morning, obviously your story's there then for the whole day. Whereas if you post in the morning and they miss it, they then might not see it. So sometimes it's good for stories like, if you want to do quick snippets of your day, that's good for stories. And then my posts, I tend to be a bit more, if I want to talk a bit more about it, and there's a bit of a story behind it, I would do a post. Yeah. Okay.
Do you find...
It's getting me thinking now, like I don't always think about what I do. And I'm like, how do I do?
I guess that's something you just learn over time. So there you said, you've doing it for a year. Congratulations, by the way. Very impressive. But I guess there are things you pick up along the way, like you said, that you're starting out on a platform and you wouldn't necessarily know what to do and how it works. And I guess having an Instagram account more for a businessy side versus a personal account is obviously a different strategy or a different approach. So those are things I guess you pick up over time and just naturally do.
Yeah.
Rather than you jump in and you know exactly what you're doing, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like on my personal account, I wouldn't really think about when to post. Whereas I sort of do on my one. Like I think I wouldn't necessarily post at maybe 3 p.m, because for me, I don't think that's a time that people are really on. You can flick through and stuff, but yeah, sometimes I think, but it's so easy to overthink. I've been there and I've overthought so much, and my God, I've learned some stuff and I've spent far too much money on food, which I can never get back. So there's lots of learnings along the way too.
Well, at least it's food. It's edible, right?
True, yeah, very, very true. But it's also like, especially that time when like I just left Avon and wasn't working yet, the amount of money I spent on food, like I can't even think about it. I'm just, why did I do that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, actually. So do you have maybe not a goal, but do you have I need to go to so many places in a week now, and therefore, well, part two of that question is, do you now just find yourself eating out a lot more?
Yeah, I did. It got a little bit unhealthy because I was like, well, I need to post like at least 3-4 times a week. I need to go here. I need to do that. Lockdown has actually helped me in that sense because I've chilled out a lot. I haven't posted as much, but it hasn't stressed me out because there's not really much to do. I mean, I've gone on lots of walks and I've taken pictures of that because I've been like, if someone's around the area, they might want to go there. It looks pretty, but I haven't stressed about what to take and, I need to post this much because everyone's been in the same boat. So it's helped me save some money, which I'd obviously spent a lot. And, we've had some takeaways and stuff like that. So it's got a little bit more lifestyle-y during lockdown because I think it had to if I wanted to carry on. But yeah, I haven't stressed as much, but we have like pictures of takeaways and stuff, and we have had some really good takeaways, and it's been nice to be able to share that with friends and family. But yeah, I've chilled out a little bit with lockdown.
Yeah.
Which I'm all right with.
Yeah, I guess like from the outside it's like, oh cool, I get to just eat loads of stuff, but there must be a point at which it's like, actually, so do you ever get to a point where you're like, I really can't be bothered tonight, I just need to stay at home?
Yeah, and it's hard because you do, especially if you have an idea in your head where you want to shout a person out or a company out, you want the pictures to be as best as they can. So George and I had a takeaway kindly gifted to us a couple of weeks ago, and we had to warm it up in the microwave because I'd taken so long taking photos because I wanted them to be perfect that everything had gone cold. So there is an element to it where you can go from one extreme to the other. But then some days, especially I think we were hungover a couple of weeks ago, and then we paid for this one. So we kind of were like, we're just going to eat it because we're hungover. But there is, you want to do a good job for them because, I'd feel awful if somebody sent me something being kind and then I took an awful photo. Like, it is quite stressful. And I think, well, it's not. I think I overthink a lot. Yeah. Is my problem really. When really it turned out like I think one of the first few photos that we took was the one that I used, so I didn't need to go through all that.
You sound like me. I'm 100% an overthinker. It's like, well, it's not right.
No, yeah. It's so easily done. Yeah. So, but then if I hadn't have taken 100, maybe the first one wouldn't have been right. So you don't know, do you?
Yes. I agree. I feel your pain.
Yeah.
While we're talking photographs, actually, I want to come on to equipment in a second, but were your photography is amazing, by the way. I absolutely love it.
Really?
Genuinely, I think it looks great. So is it something that you...
Just because I take 100 photos.
Yeah, exactly.
3 hours.
It comes across. But I guess naturally you get better over time anyway, but was it something that you were already good at, or I mean probably you're going to tell me that you don't like it or something, but was it something you were already good at, or is it something you had to almost learn and teach yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I still don't think I'm that great. I look at some people and I'm like, that photography is insane. Like I don't think mine's that great at all. I have a camera and an iPhone. My camera I didn't use for ages, and then I recently started to get out again because the girl that I work with, she always takes great photos and it's the same camera. So I was like, maybe I should start using my camera. So I got that back out again recently, but I do have the iPhone 11, which is amazing. So I'm going to give all credit to the iPhone. And this is the thing with food, like if you have good food, it's going to look good because people are like, oh my God, that's a good food.
You say that, but my photography is terrible. Oh. Genuinely, it's awful. So
we can work on that.
Yeah, we need
I'm sure it's not. But it's so easy for people think that about themselves. It's so easy for us to compare, and that's the other thing where with this it is quite hard. You have to just step back sometimes because I think for everyone, imposter syndrome is a massive thing. And it's so easy to think, oh, mine's rubbish, look how good theirs is. But actually someone else is looking at yours and thinking, oh my God, that's great. But it's easy for us to not think we're great. You know, it's not natural, is it? So
that's very true. So obviously having your Instagram account has opened a lot of doors for you. Can you talk us through some of the best things that I guess have come from it and how they've come about?
Yeah, of course. This was another thing where, like, when I got it, I was a bit like, what? I remember got invited to my first event, which was a gin event. And I wasn't even a keen gin drink at this point. I had Lauren, who was trying to get me to drink gin. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I just remember getting invited to this event, being like, what is going on? Like, I think at that point I only had as well about 600 followers, I think. But the girl who invited me obviously saw something and wanted me to go along for some strange reason. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And then kind of that happened. And then I met new people. And then once I hit 1,000, more opportunities started to come in. So that was a bit of a whirlwind. I was like, oh my gosh, but it is mad because I do think, without even thinking about it, you have these opportunities and they end up leading to other opportunities. And you have obviously a lot of those people to thank. And to them, it wasn't really a massive deal. Like, I know Lisa, when she invited me to the gin event, was like, oh, sorry, like I was just inviting people. But because of that, it then led to so much more for me. But at that time, they didn't think that. So I think that was a really great opportunity. And then through that, by meeting Lisa, then that's how I ended up getting my job. And it's just weird how like an Instagram can help you meet people that you then get work through, and just opportunities. It is mad. Like, I know that other people have these massive opportunities and mine are probably little compared to that, but it is just mad how like it just, yeah, kind of you end up having this job. Like when I left Avon, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go into beauty. Got bored of that within 5 minutes, and now I've ended up going down a completely different path, which is amazing. I love it. But yeah, I think that first event was great, and then the my current job have been the best opportunities. And then obviously, you know, I'm going to say I do love getting free food.
Right?
Yeah, it is nice, but not to the point where I have said no a couple of times, or not said no, but I've paid towards it, because especially if they're local businesses, I'm like, don't be silly, like we're going to pay for this. So it's, you know, it's just been nice to share things. Like I know my family and stuff have ordered things because I've recommended it or found this new company. So it's just nice to be able to spread the word of businesses. It really is, like, because they're so grateful, especially when they're like small businesses, because every little like word helps. So yeah, just being able to help them.
Yeah, well, I guess that's the point of doing it, right? The idea is to bring value to people, and if you can actually see that happening, then that just makes it all worthwhile.
Really. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it really does. And when they kind of message us, oh, thanks so much, and it doesn't even like, you know, it does at first. I still don't get used to it now when people say, oh, I'd just like to send you something. So I'm like, why? Why would you do that? Like, it still baffles me. But if they can get like a couple of sales out of it, then, you know, it's helped.
Yeah.
But even when I get free stuff, I give them stuff. I'm like, no, take this. Take this money.
Oh, you're terrible.
I know, I'm really bad.
Oh man. I'm Indian. I'm like, just bring it over. Come on. It's cool. It's like, no, we want you to pay. What? No.
Yeah, it does take some getting used to if you're not used to it.
Yeah. So the other thing you mentioned earlier on.
I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, no, yeah, you did. It's totally cool. You mentioned earlier on that you also started or tried your hand at fitness. Was this at the same time as the food stuff or before it?
No, yeah, this was before it. This is while I was still at Avon, but I try not to tell anyone about it, and then people started finding out about it, and then that's when I felt a bit like, oh, because then I realised, was like, what am I doing with this? Because I didn't have a clue. I just knew that I liked going to the gym. It just didn't really. just weren't sure what I was doing with it. I think I was just posting for the sake of it, and it wasn't really. I do think you have to have. I probably didn't have passion behind it, whereas with this one, I did. So it wasn't at the beginning, well, it isn't now, it wasn't about the following. It was more about, oh, I really want to share this, I really want to share that. Whereas with the other one, I don't think I had that passion. So it kind of, I just got a bit bored and was like, I think that was it.
Fair enough. But having gone through that, I guess you were better prepared for this journey.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's one of the good things about, if you do something and fail, like just learn from it and keep going. Because if I'd have just said, no, it doesn't work, I'm stopping, then I wouldn't be in the situation that I am in now. So, I'm glad that I did go again. And that's what I say to anyone, if you think of quitting, don't, because it can, it does turn around.
Yeah, you can gain something valuable out of every experience, even if it doesn't quite pan out.
And as well, if anyone's sitting there thinking, oh, I might try this, like, just try it, just do it. Like, what's the worst that could happen? If it doesn't work, just do something else.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to go start a food blog right now.
You might as well, because what could go wrong?
Well, yeah, okay.
See?
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I guess one of the things that I know I've thought about different things, and some people might be thinking is, oh, everybody's doing it. And I guess when people are scrolling through Instagram or something, they're going, hang on, like literally everyone's doing something. So what's the point? I'm just another person. So what would you maybe say to them? Or did you have those feelings yourself going in?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think even if you don't have loads of people doing it, you will still compare yourself to anyone who is doing it. So you could have 50 people doing it and think, I'm not going to bother because they're all doing it. Or you could have one person doing it and think, I'm not going to bother because they're doing it better than I would. Like, you just need to ignore it all and do what you want to do. Like, don't let other people put you off. I myself haven't posted stuff in the past because other people have, and I think, oh, those look better. And then you look back and you think, oh, like, don't be so stupid. Just do you, is what I would say. And if you want to do it, like, do it. It's easier said than done, especially where if you are in that mind frame. Like, some days I'm in the mind frame where I'm just like, oh, whatever. And then other days it does get you down a bit more. So I know it's easier said than done, but just do it when you're in the right mind frame and don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. That would be my advice.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. I think more people need to hear that. And I'm certainly one of those people that have had those thoughts in the past. And recently, a lot of people, or a lot of the things I'm listening to maybe, are saying the same kind of things. And it does make you think, hang on, why do I care? Like,
yeah,
well, at the end of the day, why do I care what people think? As long as I'm not hurting anyone and I'm just trying different things.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Exactly. It's easier said than done, like, because I think we all have those thoughts. But this is why podcasts and things like that and books are so great, because they do help you try and get into that different mindset. If anyone's feeling like that, I would say, like, I think podcasts are great. I've got into them massively recently. Just do something to kind of give you a bit of positivity, listen to some positive stuff, and then just do it. Yeah,
you're right. Podcasts are very good. You can just carry on and do your like normal day and still have them in your ear.
Yeah, and you get like really sucked in. It's weird. Like you like sometimes I listen, I'm like, yeah, like it's like they're actually talking to you. It's great.
Yeah. While we're on podcasts, what's one of your favourite ones?
I'm listening to James Smith at the minute.
Love.
He's like, he's like the fitness guy. Yes, the PT guy. Kelly's been on at me for ages to listen to him. And I didn't, because he dissed Body Pump, and I really like Body Pump, so I got a little bit sad. And then I listened to him, and actually I understand where he was coming from. So yeah, I'm really into his at the minute. So I'm like halfway through. I just binged it all weekend.
Yeah, I did that. It was my PT that actually introduced me to him. I know we're going off on a
tangent.
Really? I'm very sorry, but he introduced me to him about 6 months ago, and I like listened to the whole thing in like a couple of weeks, and I was like, this guy actually, it takes a little bit of getting used to him, but like I was like, oh, this guy actually talks some sense.
It's his swearing.
Yeah.
He swears a lot. I had the windows open and the next door's kids were in the garden. I thought, oh gosh, I need to turn this down. I had to get used to swearing. But he is good, isn't he? It makes you think, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Have you read his book?
No, I haven't. Have you?
I think I'm about 80% through, and for some reason I stopped. I have no idea why. It is really good. It's literally right there. And I will finish it. But actually, I've also signed up to. I think I'm signed up to his daily emails as well.
Right. Okay.
They're actually quite interesting most of the time when he's not just swearing. Anyway, we digress. Where was I going? Yeah. Your website. Sorry. Whereabouts in your journey did you decide that you would create a website, put it up, and how did that kind of come about? What was the thought process behind that?
I can't really remember, if I'm honest. I think it's because there was a couple of posts that I did that I wanted to talk about that particular thing so much more. And obviously on an Instagram caption, if you have someone that's got a really long caption, you might not necessarily read it. Whereas I think if someone visits a blog, they go there to read. So I wanted one just so I could waffle on a little bit more, really. And that, again, I did one first. Since then, I've changed design a couple of times. I've asked so many questions for people, got loads of help, because, if you've got those people around you, utilize people. There's people don't mind helping. So I just kind of, that was my reason behind it. I wanted to waffle more. And so and as well, this was the thing, I didn't even think about it. I just kind of started one, but by doing that, it helped me understand WordPress so much more, which then I needed for my job anyway. So it kind of all ended up accidentally interlinking. So you end up, just by doing your own blog, you end up building more skills than you kind of realised that you would. So it came, I think I only did it was towards the end of last year. So I'd had my Instagram for maybe about 6 months before I did a blog.
Okay.
Yeah, and then did the blog just so I could waffle.
Yeah, fair enough. That's what they're for. In terms of creating your website, then, what was that process like? So you actually went away, said, "I'm going to do this," with a little bit of help, and just got on with it, right?
Yeah. I mean, WordPress is really easy to use. I'm not a web designer at all, so luckily I had something like that. And nowadays you can kind of, you can get loads of themes. So if you literally look on Etsy, just search for WordPress themes, and any that you like, you can just buy, and it automatically, you just put the code into your website, and obviously it just does it. So there's none of that needing to faff around and try and get a designer or anything like that. So I can't remember what your question was. Sorry.
Brilliant. That's okay. I was just wondering if you did it yourself. The answer is yes.
Yeah, I asked a lot of help. So there's people that I work with who are very talented in WordPress, thank goodness, because I did not understand it. But now, hopefully, if someone asks me, I can help them, because with your knowledge. But yeah, so I sort of did it myself. Sort of got help.
But
a bit of everything. But if anyone
still did it yourself.
Yeah, it's not too hard now. You can get everything nowadays. So if you're not a web developer, but you really want a website, just look for WordPress themes on Etsy. Get yourself a WordPress account, and it's pretty easy. I say that now. It wasn't at the time. Now I'm like, it's fine. Yeah, at the time I was ringing my friend help me.
I guess there's a lot of stuff is on YouTube though, right? So if there's anything you don't know, YouTube and Google will have the answer.
Yeah, exactly. They do actually. Yeah.
And okay, so now you've got the Instagram account and you're blogging. How do you find balancing it? And do you have any rules like I will blog once a week and I will post 5 times a week or anything like that?
Yeah, I probably need to get a little bit better with blogging, because I don't write on there as much as I plan to. Just because now I've ended up writing more for work. You sometimes, because you do it for work, and I write about stuff for that I would on my blog. So because I'm doing it there, and I'd rather do it there because obviously it helps reach more people and stuff for, like, again, supporting local. So I'd rather do it there. But because I do it all that, then sometimes I think, oh, I don't really know what to write about on my blog. So it was kind of learning to separate things. So on mine, I tend to do, like I did one recently about redundancy and things like that, probably a little bit more lifestyle-y, personal. Yeah, but I would like to do more. I would like to do once a week, but I think life just gets in the way, doesn't it? And especially when you have to tidy up and hoover and clean and all that, it's like, oh, so it ends up like just taking up your time. So yeah, like I said, before lockdown, I was getting a bit like, I need to post this amount a week. Since lockdown, I've chilled out quite a bit. Whether I'll go back to being like, I'm going to need to post again, maybe. But yeah, I try and do at least 3 times a week for Instagram anyway. If I don't, then I try and do more stories, just because people do like to see you active, and you have to, like, you do have to not worry. Like at first, I think I went through a stage where every time I posted, someone unfollowed me. But then you just think, why do you notice and why do you care? Because then someone might do, but then you get others follow you. So yeah, you have to kind of just learn to be like, oh, whatever. I can remember I was getting so annoyed by it at one point. Like, why are people unfollowing me? And you take it personally, and then you think, well, you shouldn't, because I've probably unfollowed people and it's not been personal. It's just been, maybe I followed them at the beginning, but now it isn't something that I would follow. So yeah. I forgot the question.
This is brilliant.
I didn't get much sleep.
It's totally fine.
I just waffle on and then I forget. Like, I do just do this in my life. This is what happens.
It's brilliant. It's totally entertaining. I've now forgotten what my question was going to be. Where was it going? That's all right. So in terms of going forward then, have you got any plans? So obviously you want it to be maybe more like what has naturally become more of a lifestyle Instagram account, but obviously the food stuff isn't necessarily going to stop. But do you plan to carry that on as we come out of lockdown? Have you got any new ideas about where you want to go, or is it a bit more go with the flow and see what happens?
Yeah, I think once we come out of lockdown, I definitely want to still go back to the food and where to go and where to visit and stuff. Like I said, there is a bit of crossover with my work, so that's also why I'd like to have these plans, but it's kind of thinking, okay, which one should go on mine, which one should go on work and things like that. But I still will go back out again and spend all this money on food and stuff, because it's what I like doing. So yeah, I think after lockdown I'll still go back out and do all that stuff. I still keep a bit of lifestyle in there. Like I try to do, because I called it food and frolic, so I try to do 2 food pictures, then 1 frolic, then 2 food, then 1 frolic. And I've kept that going since the beginning. And it is quite annoying because sometimes I think I have a picture that I want to post, but I'm like, oh, but it's not food and today's a food day. So that was a little bit silly, but it kind of just gives me something to plan for, because otherwise, because I am quite naturally scatty, if I didn't have something to plan for, that's where I think might end up, for me personally, I could end up making it look a little bit messy. So I think, yeah, I need to start putting together a bit more of a plan for after lockdown, but I'll try and keep that 2 food, 1 frolic, because then it kind of, like, if I have a weekend where I'll go out and take loads of pretty pictures, then I'll know I've got something to aim for and when to post it. Sounds a bit ridiculous being like, yeah, I'm going to plan when I post on Instagram. But
well, no, I think a lot of people do that, and it brings a little bit of structure.
Yeah, that's a good word for structure. Yeah, so absolutely.
You know what you've got to do. Yeah, no, exactly. I think that makes more sense, because I've definitely gone down the, I'll just see how I feel and end up doing nothing. Whereas if like you, if it was this is a food day, I know exactly what I've got to do.
Exactly.
And it happens. So it makes,
and it has helped. Yeah, and it has helped me, because I think maybe if I didn't have that to aim for, I might have just exactly that, been like, oh, I'm not doing anything, because then you start overthinking what should I do and you don't do anything. So yeah, I think that has helped, and I think it makes my page look a little bit different as well, because there are a lot of people posting food and stuff. If you've got something that can make you stand out a little bit, obviously don't stress about it if not. And some days I think, I'm not standing out, this is ridiculous, and you will have those days. But if you have just a little something that makes you that little bit different, then that's great as well.
Yeah, and as a food account, obviously it's very visual. I know Instagram is very visual anyways, but food specifically, do you feel under any more pressure, or do you think there is more pressure on someone with a food Instagram account to have a more aesthetically pleasing grid than someone else? Like if I'm talking finance, I don't really care what my grid looks like, but like, I know some people do, but like I couldn't care less. But if you're doing something that is incredibly visual like that, is there more pressure? And do you think about how the grid looks like when you post a picture, or not necessarily?
Yeah, I do. I don't think all food accounts do. I think some really pull it off. I think I've seen some that look a little bit messy. So which is hence why I end up taking a million photos, because I like to get one that doesn't look too much. For me, I kind of do think of that, and I always think, which one would be the first, and like which one would look better on the grid, because I don't want it to look too messy. But then I have seen ones that do look like that and have managed to pull it off. So I guess it depends what you're doing. I think if you're doing home cooking, actually I say that home cooking I think can look good either way. Like I think Lauren's got a good one, whereas hers are quite very good flat lays. But then I've seen other ones that just kind of do more, this is everything I've put in, and they work as well. So I think you kind of have to, as annoying as it is, it's trial and error for your personal account and who you are. For me, I do like to plan it and think, which one should I use, which one looks better. And I think it's the sort of food you go for as well. Like, I don't really eat massive portions. I love food, but I'm very picky. So I know that, like, if I go for tapas and stuff, that's end up how mine will often look. So it's probably a bit easier for me. Whereas if you're someone who has a massive dinner, it's probably harder to make that look nicer, I think, maybe.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. It's nice to have a little selection or something. You've got a few small things that you can focus on.
Exactly. And I eat a lot of like cakes and sweets and stuff, and they look nice, whatever, really. So it makes it a little bit easier.
Well, I was going to ask you how you managed to eat so much good food and still stay in shape, because like, if I was doing your job, it would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it did. To be honest, it was starting to get a bit silly. I miss the gym. I'm naturally, like, this sounds like I'm bragging, anyone listening. I'm not. I'm just naturally skinny anyway. So I can eat it. But I do like to gym. I've missed the gym. Yeah. I can't wait for them to open again on the 25th, because then I end up just looking a bit too skinny. Yeah. So if I'm honest, I think it's luck. But I have been trying to go for walks, and I've been doing HIIT at home. I think it's more sometimes about how you feel. Like, I remember, I think it's like the second week of lockdown, I had to Google if I'd given myself diabetes, because I had like a box of brownies and a treat box, and I had something else in 1 week, and I was like, this isn't okay. And I was like Googling what the symptoms were of diabetes. So I think you just, if you feel like you've eaten bad, do something to feel better. So I just started doing it.
I love that you actually.
I was so worried. I was like, this isn't okay. And then I was like, what if I need to go to the dentist? The dentist is all shut. So I kind of snapped back for a little bit. It was a very stressful time.
Yes. Wow. Okay, the dark side of food blogging. Well, actually, to be honest, exactly. I do say that. Like, I see, and it's the same on YouTube. I'll watch people that talk about food, and they're always out, and they'll do like 24 hours in Amsterdam or something, and they'll literally go and eat everything. And I'm like, where are you putting it all? Because how? You have like 12 meals a day.
I completely agree. I don't know how they do it. That's a talent all by itself.
Yeah, it is pretty impressive. Do you have any, we're coming back to the photography just for a second, do you have any tips for someone maybe starting out, or someone who, you know, is taking pictures and maybe says to themselves, maybe it's being hard on themselves, but do you have any specific photography tips for food, of things to look for, things to do?
Yeah, so I love, for food, I do love putting it in portrait mode. I know that all phones haven't got that. If you have got portrait mode, it's always good to get a couple in that, because it really brings out like the good bits, and obviously, with a blurred background, I quite like that. If not, you can get apps that do that. So you'll just take the pictures and then use an app to kind of blur some stuff out. I always use either Lightroom or Photoshop just to make them lighter. I mean, nowadays you can do them on anything. You don't have to have those. I love Lightroom. I think it's brilliant, but again, you don't have to do that. So just make sure they're really clear and light. Obviously, if you're taking photos and it's dark, or you're in rubbish light, it's going to be harder to make it look better. So if you can, try and make sure you've just got a good light, a good camera, or a good phone. If you're using a Nokia 3210, it's probably not going to do the trick. Don't never even got a camera. So
even have a camera.
So try and have something that has at least a good camera, and then just there's nothing wrong with editing. Like, I always edit mine because I like them brighter, I like them lighter. I always do mine square. So even if I take a picture and it's full screen, I'll always edit it so it's square, because I just think it looks a bit nicer on the gram. So just some little things like that to ensure that it looks nice. You can always look at presets if you're not great with adjusting, because then it does it all for you. So yeah, little things like that, and you really don't have to spend loads on doing it. Like, I think my Lightroom, I think I pay like £2 a month for Lightroom, so it is nothing. And the iPhones are so clever now. Like, you can just press auto and it automatically lightens it. So just I think things like, and you have to care as well. Like, you have to sort of be in the mood. If you're not in the mood to take pictures of your food, then they're probably not going to look great. So you need to be in the mood. You have to be a bit patient.
Fair enough. I think they're very good tips. Final question. Is there something you wish you knew starting out, or maybe some advice for someone starting out?
Yeah, you absolutely will get imposter syndrome. It probably can't be avoided. And I wish that I could go back and kind of tell myself, like, just to chill out a little bit if you do get it. And again, it's a lot easier said than done, but just try so hard not to compare yourself to what everyone else is doing. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Don't let it stress you out. And just do it because you love it. If you fall out of love with it, take a break and then come back. Don't delete your Instagram. Don't do anything drastic. Just take a bit of a break, even if it's just a week or a few days, a bit of a just time for yourself, and then go back to it. Because once you start hating it, then there's just no point doing it, because you're just going to make yourself a bit miserable. So I've had a couple of breaks and I felt great for it. And
people are still there when you come back.
They are. They're not going to go anywhere. And if they do, so what? Just replace them.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very good advice. Okay, so before we get into rapid fire round, guys that are watching us live, now is the time to drop in any questions. Oh, we do have a question, sorry. Nick is asking what Lightroom is.
So it's a photography app. You can download it on iPhone and probably Android. It's kind of where you can just import images and then you can edit it all on there. So it allows you to crop, lighten. It's where you can import presets. Just edit everything on there. Yeah.
Make pictures look good.
Make pictures look like, because I'm old. I mean, yeah, you are, but
I didn't say that. I just want to be clear. Even if I agree.
It's a photography app that's easy to use without being too daunting, in a nutshell.
It's just like Photoshop, but then don't ask me what Photoshop is.
It's a lot easier to use than Photoshop.
I don't think I've ever played with Lightroom. Actually, I'm crap at all photo editing, let's be honest. I only found filters the other day.
Wow.
Obviously, I knew of them, but I was like, oh, my picture actually looks a little better. I can kind of see the filter hype now. I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll help you. Come
thank you. I need it. The thing is I actually love photography, and I even have a DSLR. I'm just horrific at it. So
right, okay.
Definitely
just practice.
Yeah,
just practice it. Because you might, again, but this comes down to it, like, you might think you're rubbish, but someone else might not. They could look at it and be like, oh, I wish I could take photos like that.
Maybe.
We're all too hard on ourselves.
Yes, okay, that's fair. I'll give you that one. Right, if there are any other questions, guys, drop them in the box. In the meantime, you can all go and follow Chanelle on Instagram. It's at Food and Frolics. There's 2 dots in there though, so I hope you can see the screen.
All in one was taken.
Yeah, that's the most annoying thing about Instagram.
Thanks for watching, Luke. I hope you're having fun in Belgium.
Nick's in Belgium?
Yeah.
Look, this is just mean. I am. It's actually true. I am being more out of the game. I expect to see some good pictures when you're back then, Nick. Where was I going with that? Oh, sorry. Just totally thrown me. And go and check out Chanelle's website. It's www.foodandfrolics.com. Right. Are you ready for some rapid fire? I've done a special food edition for you.
Okay. Oh,
yeah, no, it's easy. Come on. Why are people scared of it? It's great fun. For me, at least. All right. Okay. What's the first word that comes to your mind right now?
About food?
Okay, the later questions are food related.
Oh,
some of the original
sorry.
ones are just general. Forgot who I was talking to.
Yeah.
Okay. Just any word that comes into your head. Yeah, and should have guessed that one. Okay, if you could have one superpower, not food related, what would it be? Well, unless it is food related, but it doesn't have to be.
I would like to reverse time.
That's cool.
Because there's a lot of stupid. Go back and change it.
Fair enough. What TV show are you binge watching right now?
What are you watching? We've just finished the Epstein thing.
Jeff Epstein?
Yes, that's his name. I forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just finished that.
Any good?
Yeah, it's weird to say, like.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's eye-opening.
Yeah, okay. One person, dead or alive, you'd like to have dinner with?
Ed Sheeran. No, that's a boring answer. Someone more who's really clever and I can ask questions to. Who's really clever and I can ask questions to. I need to think on that one.
Okay. Favorite pizza topping?
Pepperoni. No, ham and pineapple. Ham, pineapple, and pepperoni.
What, all together?
I'm one of those that like pepperoni on pizza.
Okay. If you had to eat one thing for the rest of your life only, what would it be?
Custard.
Oh, okay.
Love custard.
What is your favourite cuisine?
Thai.
Is there a particular food? What?
No, was that the right answer to the right question?
Are you asking me or are you talking to yourself? Because I don't know.
Okay. No, yeah, Thai or Italian.
Food you hate?
Mushrooms.
Yeah, I can agree with you on that one. What's your favourite place to eat?
Where's I go recently? Nuovo. I really like.
Yes, okay.
Really like
that. Favourite snack?
It's really bad, but it has to be crisps. Like a really, yeah. I'm much more like, I like chocolate every now and then, but I could eat a massive bag of crisps every day easily.
Yeah. What would you eat for your last meal on Earth?
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Not to get morbid or anything. I'm just...
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, Right. Okay. Let me rephrase that. What's your favourite food to eat? Favourite meal?
I love Thai green curry.
Okay.
Yeah, Thai green curry. I love that.
Favourite drink?
Prosecco, hands down Prosecco. And I said wine earlier because that's what first came to my head. But I would drink Prosecco first.
And then wine.
And then the wine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Are you a starters or a dessert person?
Depends what mood I'm in. Most of the time, starters. Yeah, I always used to be. Then during lockdown, I always fancied dessert. So, yeah, I think it's because I always, after my main, I always think I'm too full. But you never think you're too full for a starter. Because you haven't eaten. I think that's why.
Fair enough. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. I love waffles. Love them. I had them on Friday.
I had some yesterday.
Nice.
Yes, they were actually all right. I was trying some new protein waffles. Well, they were actually protein pancakes that I couldn't be bothered to put in the frying pan, so I put in the waffle maker.
Amazing.
Yeah. Amazing. So work for me. And I know you said you don't really like to cook, but is there a particular meal or dish that you are, I wouldn't say good at cooking at, but you enjoy cooking?
Yeah, I do. I say that. I do like cooking and I can cook. I'm just really lazy when it comes to cooking. But I do a good stir fry and I do a great paella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's the end of the rapid fire from me, but Nick would like to ask what you would do if you could reverse time.
Oh, I'd change a lot of when Nick was my boss.
Yes.
Jokes, Nick. This sounds really like morbid, but I would go all the way back to school because I didn't really like school, and I'd change a few things.
Yeah. I think I might join you on that one.
Yeah,
clearly not at your school because that would benefit me in no way. But,
yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome, you made it through. See, that wasn't scary.
No, that was cool.
Excellent. I had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you enjoyed it.
I did. It was great. Thank you so much for having me.
No, not at all. Thank you for being here. It's been amazing. Thank you to anyone who joined in, especially Nick. And where am I? Yeah, awesome. So that probably just about wraps it up. Is there anything else you'd like to say before I close the show?
No, just thank you for having me. And if anyone, I know I'm not dead famous and got millions of followers or anything like that, but honestly, if anyone wants any advice or help on anything, just get in touch. Or, if anyone's thinking about doing an Instagram, my advice would be just do it because you never know where it might lead to.
I think that's lovely. And you're famous to me, so there you go. You are the go-to food account. Yeah, exactly. You don't need 1 million followers. That's lovely. Awesome. Sweet. So Chanelle, thank you once again. It has been amazing.
Thank you.
For everybody else, if you want to stay up to date with podcast related things, then go and check out my Instagram account at JustBarbs. Yeah. Also on Facebook. Yeah, it's reversed. Apparently it's reversed. Or go and check out projectlifeadmin.com with all sorts of stuff. That side is weird. Thanks. It's been a lot of fun. So guys, I will see you next week, same time, same place, with a different guest. Be well, stay safe, stay kind, be curious. Bye everybody.